It's rare that we find ourselves in a place where we just can't stop taking photos. Devil's Tower, however, was one of those places. From the minute we saw it, 20 or so miles in the distance, we were transfixed. I had seen pictures of it, but had never imagined it to be this big and this majestic. There is an almost sacred aura around this place. It is temple-like in its quiet majesty. It's easy to see why the Native Americans revere it. Let's start with what Devil's Tower is and is not. First, it's not a volcano or a remnant of a volcano. It's not hollow, but it does have an origin in hot magma. According to most sources, the tower is an igneous intrusion, meaning millions of years ago, molten rock pushed its way up through the surface of the earth, but did not break through. Instead, the intrusion of molten rock cooled inside the softer sedimentary rock. Over millions of years, the softer surface eroded away and revealed what is now called Devil's Tower. As the magma cooled, it formed long, intersecting, closely spaced fractures called columnar jointing. Over time, through erosion of wind and water, these columns have crumbled and broken off. The resulting rocks and rubble at the base of the tower are called scree, evidence that it is still eroding today. Take a look at this view of the top of Devil's Tower from Google Earth. If you look closely, you can see the tops of the hexagonal columns. It looks a little like a giant bundle of unsharpened pencils all held together.
And speaking of the top, can people climb up Devil's Tower? The answer is yes, but there are some conditions. First, you'd better be good at climbing. This is no easy mountain. Second, you have to register with the rangers before and after your climb. You are not allowed to stay up there overnight. And third, the Native Americans ask that you not climb in the month of June. That is when they come to the tower to perform sacred rites. Out of respect, you are asked to plan your climb for a different month.
Long before the white man laid eyes on the tower, it was revered by many of the Native American tribes as a holy place. Their names for it centered around the bear and is known to them as Bear Lodge or Bear Lodge Butte, Gray Horn Butte, Tree Rock, and the place where bears live. It wasn't until around 1876 that the name Devil's Tower became associated with this remarkable place. In the Lakota language, this is the word for bad god or evil spirit. And this is the word for black bear. Reportedly, a mistranslation between the translator and Colonel Richard Irving Dodge created the new name. It's possible it was just a translation error. There are some who think it was deliberate. Either way, the newer name stuck. But to us, Bear Lodge Butte seems much more fitting. There are many Native American traditions and important cultural rites centered around the tower. I've put some links in the description if you'd like to know more about the remarkable history of this place.
I've always had an interest in photographing the night sky, and the dark, clear skies at Devil's Tower gave me the perfect opportunity to try it out. To get the photos of Devil's Tower at night took a bit of work. I tried my phone and a point-and-shoot camera, but finally, to get anything really good required my DSLR camera with the manual settings. I watched a YouTube video from Canon, see the link in the description below, and tried a 25-second exposure at f3.5, which is as wide open as my lens will go, and an ISO of 3200. Focusing can be a bit of a challenge, and I tried a few different settings as well. For that long of an exposure, I used a tripod. Wyoming is the least populated state and one of the darkest places in the U.S. I scouted out a couple different locations. For the time of year when I was there, The Milky Way would be closest to Devil's Tower from the Joyner Ridge trailhead parking lot, so that is the one that I chose. At other times of the year, another location might be better. As you can see, I got some pretty good night photos that I was pleased with. It turned out easier than I thought it would be to take these pictures, so you might give it a try too. But even if you don't shoot at night, there are no bad pictures of Devil's Tower.
There are a number of hikes available to you in and around Devil's Tower National Monument. We opted to walk the Tower Trail. This is a 1.3-mile paved trail that circles the base of this 867-foot-tall monument. There are quite a few deer around the area too. We were fortunate enough to see several on our hike around the tower. It has a couple of steeper spots, but also has benches along the way where you can stop and rest or just admire the view. As you circle the tower, you'll see huge boulders. These are the scree we mentioned earlier, rockfall from the tower as erosion continues to break off the columns. For those that might be interested in the geology of Devil's Tower, I've put a link to a USGS white paper in the description. We finished up the hike and then headed into the nearby ranger station and store. You can get your park stamp there as well as souvenirs of your time in Devil's Tower National Monument. We hope you've enjoyed this brief look at Devil's Tower in Devil's Tower, Wyoming. We were
surprised at how reverent it felt there and how peaceful.
It really does. I couldn't get over it. It was.
It's not surprising at all that the Native Americans feel like it's a special and sacred place.
It really is. We were completely unprepared for how majestic and beautiful it was. So we're going to end this video today a little differently than normal. We've created a video montage of some of the pictures and video that we took while we were there at Devil's Tower. And we've included some of the beautiful night photography that Derrick was able to get. I've set this to a lovely piece of music I found called Tuatha de Denann by Third Age. And we hope that you enjoy it. We hope that you'll take the time to go up and see Devil's Tower in Devil's Tower, Wyoming yourself sometime.
It's definitely worth the trip.
Bet. And until next time, Restless friends, you take care.
Bye.